Okay, so this is interesting. If you go to apple.com right now and you go to the Mac section, you go to the iMac Pro, you can still buy this computer, but apparently there's only one model of the iMac Pro left. That's right, this is the $5,000 base model with the 1 terabyte solid state drive, and yeah, really nothing else. It's all the basic specs, and you used to be able to kind of spec this, but right now you can no longer do it. So there's a lot of speculation. Is the iMac coming out very, very soon? Because, the 3 to 4 weeks thing that most semi-discontinued, on its way out products are showing is also showing here. And then Apple's spokesperson actually confirmed that, yes, while supplies last, if it runs out forever. There's no longer be any sort of, at least this model of iMac Pro, to be sold, which is interesting because usually when they kind of discontinue a product, just go ahead and say, yeah, we're just discontinuing this. You're not able to buy any of that. This is weird because they still allow you to buy the iMac Pro. Honestly, I think it's actually kind of interesting because of the idea that they're still selling this, which kind of indicates to me that they haven't sold much of iMac Pros anyway. I don't think it's ever very, very popular, and it's kind of usurped by the higher end Mac Pro, of course, right? If you're a professional, you don't really tend, if you're the type of professional, I should say, that really could use an iMac Pro, you would have bought a Mac Pro anyway because it is a better value for money, and you get more flexibility, and you can install your own RAM, right? For professional use, you would tend towards that iMac Pro. So the speculation comes from, okay, what the heck has Apple have in store? Most signs point to the Apple Silicon iMac, which is coming out, which is much more powerful than even the current iMac Pro. Then they are comfortable with, hey, if we can just, not sell, an iMac Pro, we can just sell a Mac Pro, which is fine, right? I don't know if it's the M1 or the M1X that they plan to ship, but I think, even though I don't think Apple has ever segmented, 2 different chipsets with one model of computer, if they were to do this, I think an M1 for the base iMac, right, that we have now, even in multiple colors, but also an M1X for the current iMac Pro that this is replacing. Yeah, but the while supplies last thing is actually pretty interesting because there's not a lot of while supplies last. I don't think Apple has ever sold a discontinued product. I think there's been a handful of, semi-discontinued products where it's obvious that, it's going to be discontinued, or it has been discontinued, where it's not left up on the store at all. It's just gone. So, yeah, they're going to do the iMac, and it's obvious that they probably will replace the iMac Pro. They won't leave an Intel version behind. This is one of the, the original, the mass-manufactured Intel Macs. So this is kind of the death knell for one of the more popular Intel Macs that has shipped. And, if you remember early, kind of like mid 2020, when they have the kind of the last model of Intel Macs, which also included a nano texture version. But if you remember that the iMac Pro never got really many updates in the first place, and, just languished there. They even didn't get the nano texture version, which you would also realize it's also on the Pro Display XDR, right? So it's built for kind of like to be paired with the Mac Pro, that sort of thing. So it's obvious that, Apple just kind of didn't want to invest in the iMac Pro back, a while ago. And obviously, if, it's not selling well, which this seems to indicate because they kind of wanted to get rid of their stock, then there is really no incentive for them to pick up, iMac Pro development to support it in any way, right? It's kind of like the 2013 Mac Pro situation where the sales are pretty lacking and they kind of just kind of gave up on it. What this tells me is, yeah, they're not doing this, and they just kind of want to shed whatever inventory they have, which is kind of sad, but, from a business perspective, I fully understand why they're doing this. But, it's the iMac Pro. It's a nice piece of kit, personally. I am a one computer person. I'm not I like to spec my own machine. I like to, construct have a computer that just works, rather. And, not having to do a lot of my own troubleshooting, not having to do a lot of my own work. That's just the way I like to roll. And right now having a PC makes me realize that, a lot of people would like that flexibility, which I fully respect. Again, the iMac Pro is, basically for types of people that are like me, that requires a little bit more performance, a little bit more oomph to get things done, all the while, couldn't be arsed to get their computer off the ground. There isn't much modular components in Apple Silicon Macs, and they don't have the RAM door in the iMac Pros. Yeah, and Mac Minis they remove the ability for you to upgrade your own RAM, even though if you can somehow manage to get the redesigned door open, which it used to be user accessible, this is no longer the case, of course, with the Apple Silicon Mac Mini. Yeah, it would be powerful, but it most likely wouldn't work the same way that most people want it to work. And it's a bit of a shame that the iMac Pro wouldn't work like that if they come out with, a similar spec model, but just called an iMac with an M1 or M1X processor. But, for an iMac Pro, because of the nature of the machine, it probably won't be too much off. And also the new color thing, but I don't think they'll offer them in colors on the M1X. But what do you think about the iMac Pro rumors? I personally think that it's just interesting because, rarely has an iMac or any Apple product been left up and Apple coming out and say, we're discontinuing this. So, your take on the iMac Pro situation. Also, too, I'm editing a couple of more videos on the pipeline. I plan to do a lot more news in between my meme videos. So keep your eyes peeled on that. This is kind of a new approach I'm doing. And my setup is kind of optimized so I can do this fairly regularly. And also, too, the Friday videos. So I hope you enjoyed this kind of a news bite, right? I just kind of want to get this out the window just to, offer my take on it. But iMac Pro, while supplies last, $5,000 base model. Let me know what you think. And, have a good one. Bye.